Kevin here once again with my 1, 2, 3 cents, and today I'm looking back and remembering the life and times of the late great Owen Hart, who on this day, May 23rd, 1999, died in a tragic accident at the Over the Edge pay-per-view in Kansas City, Missouri at the Kemper Arena. And I remember that night very well. Back then I was watching wrestling on cable and didn't have pay-per-view, but we had the pay-per-view channel and was able to kind of watch and listen to it in that scramble vision type mode. And I remember, and this is, tells you the sign of the times, it was 1999 as I mentioned, and was on the AOL chat and was chatting with other wrestling fans. And when Jim Ross made that announcement that something had happened and this was not part of the script, people instantly, as you can imagine, started thinking the worst. And it was just a matter of time, a short amount of time later, that our worst fears were confirmed that Owen Hart had in fact died. And it was such a surreal time as a fan. Nothing like this in my lifetime as a wrestling fan had happened before. We hadn't seen somebody die in the ring due to an accident. And that's what it was. It was an unfortunate accident. Of course, Owen Hart was playing the role of the Blue Blazer. Something with the costume got stuck in the safety harness, and unfortunately he plunged to his death in front of all those fans. And I just remember feeling sad for Owen's family, specifically his children and his wife. He had young kids at the time. And then of course brother Bret Hart, and the family members, all the in-laws and all the brothers and sisters that are a part of the Hart family that we've come to know watching WWE programming through the years. So my heart went out to them, obviously, as well, and to the fans. That was a big tragedy. Owen Hart, was one of those guys that I thought should have definitely been WWF World Heavyweight Champion, and I think in a different time period he would have been. We saw him get close to it in 1994 in his feud with Bret Hart. Kind of really brought him to the forefront, I thought that feud did. Turning him heel was probably the best move the company made in terms of the Owen Hart character, because he played it off so well, and really kind of, to me, was kind of the Arn Anderson of the WWF in terms of being that unsung hero type role in the mega groups or in the tag teams. Arn Anderson was that guy with the Four Horsemen and then the Dangerous Alliance and with Tully Blanchard as part of the Brainbusters. But then, you saw that with Owen Hart and the Hart Foundation. He was that unsung hero guy who went out there and got the job done and was so great in the ring and was good on the mic as well. Had great tag team partners. Yokozuna, and he held the tag team titles. Davey Boy Smith, which actually I think Davey and Owen are one of my favorite tag teams, especially of that era. And then also seeing him team up with Jeff Jarrett. I think he teamed briefly with The Rock when he kind of joined the Nation of Domination. One quick personal story on Owen Hart. I unfortunately never got to meet him or get his autograph or my picture taken with him. But I remember at a WWF house show in 1996, he was about to face Savio Vega. And the fans, I was one of them up near the guardrail where the wrestlers came out, and he kind of walked by, and really, fans were booing him and razzing him, and I liked Owen, so I was cheering for him. He made it up to the apron and turned around, and the guy next to me was just obnoxious, and he pointed at him and he said, "Sit down and shut up, fat boy." And he was like pointing right at me, and I took a picture, I snapped it, and it was really one of those experiences that, at that point I hadn't been to any WrestleManias, I hadn't met any wrestlers, and that was probably the closest interaction I had had with a wrestler up until that point. So even though he wasn't directly talking to me, I felt the love of Owen Hart, if you will. So definitely somebody that is missed to this day, 13 years later after his death. There's so much potential that shoulda, coulda, woulda. I blogged about that at one point as well, like how I thought he should have been WWF champion or WWE champion. So on this day, let's remember the man, a great man, a great father, a great family man, a great wrestler. Rest in peace, Owen.